global airlines are projecting a sharp drop in financial losses next year as the industry gradually recovers from the health crisis. The International Air Transport Association predicted that net losses at airlines would narrow to under $12 billion in 2022 from nearly $52 billion this year. While airlines across all regions are expected to perform better, those in North America are forecast to return to profit next year. And with a rosier outlook, a new pledge from the airlines industry. Global airlines agreed on Monday at an industry meeting in Boston to step up plans to tackle climate change, facing mounting pressure from regulators and environmental groups over the impact of billions of passengers expected to take to the skies in the coming decades. The IATA, which groups 290 airlines, including leading state carriers, committed to reaching net zero carbon emissions by 2050, despite opposition from Chinese airlines. IATA Director General Willie Walsh acknowledged the new commitment would be an additional challenge at a very difficult time, but appealed for unity.
It's going to require everybody working with us to raise their game. It's not just going to be achieved by airlines. We need aircraft engine manufacturers, air traffic controllers, airports. We need everybody to contribute in the interests of the environment and in the interests of sustaining the industry.
Demand for international travel is expected to double next year and reach 44% of pre-pandemic levels. Vaccination rates and the lifting of government-imposed border restrictions will determine the pace of recovery.
Facebook, Instagram, and WhatsApp lit up again after a nearly 6-hour outage on Monday. Facebook apologized and initially could not say what caused the failure. But the company later said the problem was a faulty configuration change. CEO Mark Zuckerberg posted on Facebook, quote, "Sorry for the disruption today. I know how much you rely on our services to stay connected with the people you care about." The outage was the second blow in days to the social media giant. On Sunday, a whistleblower accused the company of prioritizing profit over clamping down on hate speech and misinformation. Shares fell nearly 5% for Facebook, but later rose 0.5% in after-hours trade after the platforms rebooted. Several Facebook employees who declined to be named said that they believed that the outage was caused by an internal mistake in how internet traffic is routed to its systems. Facebook lost about $545,000 in US ad revenue per hour during the outage. That's according to ad measurement firm Standard Media Index. Security experts said an unintentional mistake or sabotage by an insider were both plausible.
Facebook, Instagram, and WhatsApp went offline for users across the globe, the social media giant said on Monday. Reuters cannot immediately confirm the issue affecting the services, but the error message on Facebook's homepage suggested a problem with the domain name system, or DNS. Security experts tracking the situation said the outage could have been triggered by a configuration error, which could be the result of an internal mistake, though sabotage by an insider would theoretically be possible. An outside hack was viewed as less likely. Facebook acknowledged users were having trouble accessing its apps, but did not provide any specifics about the nature of the problem or how many were affected by the outage. Shares of Facebook, which has nearly 2 billion daily active users, fell more than 5% in afternoon trading on Monday.
A sharp retreat by big tech stocks and concerns about a potential government debt default slammed Wall Street Monday. Rising Treasury yields and troubles at Facebook drove investors to cut their positions in stocks like Apple, Microsoft, and Amazon. Facebook had a particularly bad day. A whistleblower accused the company of repeatedly prioritizing profit over clamping down on hate speech and misinformation, and shares slid further after Facebook and its apps, Instagram and WhatsApp, suffered outages. Sanders Morris Harris Chairman George Ball faults Facebook for the market slide.
The Facebook whistleblower revelations have highlighted how vulnerable the big tech stocks are to outside influences attacking them, finding areas of vulnerability, and that frightens investors, speculators alike. That's why the market's down today, and that's why the technology stocks, the big tech stocks, are down even more.
The Dow ended down almost 1%. The S&P 500 slid 1.3%. It's off more than 5% from its peak in September. The Nasdaq lost more than 2%. Tesla bucked the trend. Shares rose after its deliveries of electric vehicles hit a record in the third quarter, breezing past analysts' estimates. The automaker is weathering a chip shortage better than its peers.
The World Trade Organization on Monday lifted its outlook for global commerce. It now expects merchandise trade to grow by 10.8% this year, up more than a quarter on earlier predictions. Last year, in the depths of global lockdowns, trade shrank by over 5%. Director General Ngozi Okonjo-Iweala spoke at a news conference in Geneva.
With 2 quarters of trade and GDP data for 2021 already in hand, it has become clear that the pace of trade recovery is closer to our optimistic scenario from March.
But the World Trade Body also had 2 warnings. It said any resurgence in virus cases could yet crimp a rebound. And it said recovery was moving at 2 speeds, in regions with and without good resources for tackling the health crisis. The WTO says exports from Asia will be higher than pre-crisis levels this year, with Europe and North America also essentially recovered. But it says Africa and the Middle East remain yet to bounce back. The forecasts relate purely to trade in goods. For services like IT and passenger transport, the WTO says a recovery to pre-crisis levels remains some way off.